Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So today I'm filming in my store, which if you don't know, I also am the owner of Velvet Bride, which is a wedding dress shop here in Missoula, Montana. So today we're going to talk all about wedding dresses and the do's and don'ts of wedding dress shopping. When it comes to wedding dress shopping, this can be a fairly overwhelming experience for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be, and it should be enjoyable. So hopefully these tips will help you enjoy your wedding dress shopping experience a little bit more. So we'll start with the do's. So first of all, do research the shops in your area that you plan to shop at or that are thinking about shopping at. This way you'll get a sense of what their overall style is, the types of designers they carry, and if that is a particular style or vibe that you think that you will like before you even go into the store. That way you're not wasting time or maybe even money if it's a paid appointment going to the bridal shop if you don't think any of their dresses are going to really suit your overall desires, your style, and what you're looking for in a wedding dress. So check that out ahead of time, look on their website, see the designers that they carry, and also research the designers that they're showing on their website as well. Taking this a step further, do also look for inspiration. When doing so, you can use Instagram, Pinterest, and just kind of see what you're initially drawn to as far as style goes. This will just kind of give you an idea of what you might initially be leaning towards when wedding dress shopping and things that you think that you might be interested in trying on. And these are things that you can also show your stylist when you go into your appointment. That brings me to the next one though. Do keep an open mind when wedding dress shopping. While it is a good idea to have kind of an idea of things you might like to try on, do keep an open mind and understand that while these styles might be ones that you're interested in, you may not love them on your body and you might fall in love with something totally different. So just go in with an open mind, even if you do have a direction of where you think you might be going with your style of wedding dress. Do communicate with your stylist. This goes for if she's pulling things that you aren't liking, that you don't think that you're going to like, or if you have a set idea, if you've tried on dresses already and you know that you don't like a fit and flare, communicate that with your stylist. Let them know that you're not interested in anything like that. You've ruled it out, you've tried them on, and just communicate your overall needs throughout the appointment. This also goes for if you're in dresses, be honest and truthful about what you're liking and disliking. This is going to help them just as much as it's going to help you. It's going to help them help you. And so just be really honest and don't be afraid to speak your mind when it comes to communicating about what you're liking or disliking in your wedding dress. Do bring a supportive crew. This one is an important one. I see this all the time. Brides want to have everybody included, and I totally understand that, have this big group in the salon with you. However, think about who you're bringing with you. If it's a large group of people, a large group of very opinionated people, this can make your wedding dress shopping experience a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're somebody that doesn't handle others' opinions very well or can get very overwhelmed by a lot of different opinions, a lot of different people, suggesting things for you to try on, and just overall the amount of people in the bridal appointment in that space can be very overwhelming. So if you're somebody that you think you might get overwhelmed by a lot of people being participating in your bridal appointment, just bring a couple of good friends that you trust, a couple of good friends that will be honest with you, but also know what you like and what your style it is, and just be supportive in helping you find that wedding dress. Do stay honest and true to yourself. This kind of goes with that supportive crew that you bring. Be honest about what you're liking with them, and if somebody in your crew, whether that's your mom or somebody that's very close to you, which you probably do value their opinion, if you're loving a dress and they're not, truly it really comes down to what you like and what you love. So try not to get too wrapped up into what other people's opinions are on your wedding dress and focus on what you're liking about the dress. And if you love it, that's all that matters. Do start early. If you are unfamiliar with the wedding dress shopping timeline, most wedding dress stores, here in my store it's about 6 months for a standard shipping time, but there are plenty of stores that are in that 9 to 12 month standard production time. So if you're not shopping at least 6 months prior to your wedding date, you might be faced with shortages on shipping. You might not have as many options as far as things that will come in time for your wedding and in time for you to have to do alterations. So keep that in mind and start early so that you are giving yourself as many options as possible and you're not limiting to yourself to what you might have to buy off the rack or things that are going to come in time. And finally, do communicate your budget. So communicate with whoever is assisting you in the bridal salon. If budget is an important thing for you and something that you are strict on, make sure that you're communicating that so that they aren't pulling things that aren't going to work for you and that they have a good direction of where to kind of lead you to set you up for success. Now that we've talked about all of the do's during your bridal appointment, let's talk about some of the don'ts. I mentioned this earlier, but don't come in with a one-track mind. Like I said, it's good and it's okay to have some ideas of things you might like, but if you're coming in with an idea of a wedding dress that you saw online, you haven't tried on dresses yet, and that's really what you want and what you envision yourself being in your wedding dress, but you haven't tried anything on yet. I have seen this happen so many times where brides come in with this specific idea and they try it on and they don't love it on themselves. And then not only is it disappointing that they didn't love what they think that they loved, but then it's really hard to get excited for something different because they had in their mind for so long that they thought they were going to have this particular style wedding dress, and they almost have to grieve that original vision, and that can be really hard to do. Don't overshop. Dress overwhelm is a real thing, and the more you shop, the more options you're going to have, the more confusing it's going to get, and the more the dresses are going to start to blur together and you're going to forget what you were loving about certain dresses, and it can get really, really overwhelming. So if you're at a point where you have found a dress that you love, you can see yourself walking down the aisle in it, there's no need to continue to shop. There's always going to be more dresses, and that's just something that you have to kind of make a conscious decision about. If you found a dress that you love, don't continue to shop if you can see yourself getting married in that dress. Don't continue to try on styles that you've already ruled out. So if you tried on fit and flares, you realized they weren't for you, you tried on several different types just to make sure they weren't for you, and you've decided, okay, this is not my dress, don't continue to try on styles that are fit and flares. If this is something that your stylist is pulling for you, or maybe your mom keeps wanting you to try them on, you're just wasting your time, you're wasting the time in the bridal salon, and it's not doing you any favors to get closer to finding your wedding dress. Once you've ruled out a particular style of dress, rule it out, move on so that you can focus on your wedding dress. Don't try on dresses that are out of your price range. If you set a specific budget for your wedding dress and you communicated that with your stylist and you don't have any wiggle room there, don't try on dresses that are over budget. All this is going to do is make you disappointed when you realize that you can't afford it, and there's no point. Again, it's wasting your time, it's not helping you find the one, and if a dress is really over your budget and you have no wiggle room, don't even put it on your body. And finally, don't continue to look at dresses once you've already said yes to your dress and purchased it. Like I said earlier, there's always going to be more dresses. There's always going to be more options. Once you've said yes to your dress, you're only going to torture yourself by continuing to look at pictures. So just move on from that task. You have your wedding dress, you picked it for a reason, and find reassurance in that. And don't torture yourself by continuing to look at photos. So there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to wedding dress shopping. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.